You think of an island getaway, and certain heavy hitters likely rush to mind: Bali, Hawaii, Santorini. The big shot isles of the world certainly have their place on any dream travel list, but there are secret, unknown islands hidden all around the globe that you can visit, if you know where to look. 1. Vietnam, Con Dao. The Vietnamese island of Phu Quoc might be considered a mini Phuket, but those looking to get far off the beaten path head to Con Dao, a little-known archipelago off Vietnam's southeastern coast. An hour-long flight from Ho Chi Minh City brings you to Con Son, the largest and only inhabited member of the 16-island chain. Here, soaring granite cliffs border deserted beaches and crystal blue water. Imagine a tropical Amalfi Coast without the crowds. Most Con Son accommodations are hostel-like budget spots, though there are a handful of boutique resorts, like the upscale Pulo Condor Boutique Resort and Spa and Six Senses Con Dao. Rent a motorbike or hire a private guide to take you to the area's most remote spots, including a 19th-century hilltop lighthouse and the spectacular Dam Turbay Lagoon. 2. Indonesia, Gili Trawangan. Searching for the Bali of, say, 1970? Head to Gili Trawangan, a tiny island near Lombok, dotted with laid-back cafes, surf schools, and dive centers. No motorized traffic is allowed here, so it's up to your own 2 feet to walk or bike everywhere you go. The daily agenda involves nothing more than fishing, diving, or kicking back with a cold beer at Scallywags or Le Petit Gili, a charmingly ramshackle bar and eatery. On the southern coast, Pondok Sandy Estate has thatched roof bungalows scattered about the 17 acres of tropical grounds, a one-time coconut plantation. Hop the ferry to Mount Rinjani, an active volcano on Lombok. 3. Portugal, Pico. When Columbus made his world-changing expedition, Pico was considered a last outpost before fell off the earth, and the island still feels almost as remote as it did in 1492. Those who make the ferry or flight are met with wines unlike anywhere else in footpaths, weaving through beautifully eerie lava landscapes. In the middle of a UNESCO-designated vineyard is the Pasenhope, where 6 chic basalt bungalows take in views of the Atlantic. For dinner, head to Ancoradoro to sample regional specialties such as polvo guisado, stewed octopus. 4. Sweden, Sandhamn. There's a reason Swedish crime writers Stieg Larsson and Wittgenstein chose Sandhamn as a setting for their thrillers. The island is covered in a forest of moss and pine trees, and light fog dependably shrouds the wine-blown beaches. Check into the Modern Sands Hotel or the sweet 8-room mission at bed and breakfast, both in the lone Sandhamn village of Sandhamn. At Sandhamn's Svartjes, a historic restaurant and pub open year-round. Feast on classic Swedish dishes such as house-marinated herring and pideye. Panna, a traditional hash with fried egg and beets. Rent a mountain bike from Sandhamn's Skaderna and pedal through the forest to Trouville, Sandhamn's best stretch of sand. 5 British Virgin Islands, Scrub Island. The name may suggest otherwise, but a trip here hardly constitutes roughing it. Once a pit stop for explorers, this island was virtually uninhabited for decades, until the Lux Scrub Island Resort, Spa and Marina opened its doors. What to expect? Spacious hillside villas, sea kayaking, and island-hopping day trips. Hike to the top of the island for an unforgettable sunrise. 6. Greece, Skopelos. An hour ferry ride from Skiathos, or 15 minutes on a high-speed boat. The island of Skopelos is so picture-perfect. Hidden coves, blue-roofed tavernas, hundreds of Byzantine-era churches, that Hollywood chose its Castani Beach as a set for Mamma Mia. Nearly every room at the seasonal Adrina Resort and Spa and its sister property Adrina Beach Hotel look out onto the turquoise Aegean. After a dinner of lobster pasta and slow-cooked lamb cleftico at Waterfront the Muses, walk along the beach-hugging road to the open-air Mercurius Cocktail Bar, or the Hilltop Anatoli for ouzo and live Rebettica music. 7. Belize, Caye Caulker. There's nary a traffic light on this colorful, laid-back island, a 5-mile strip of land that's barely a 10-minute flight from Belize City. Water activities are the name of the game here. Snorkel among nurse sharks and stingrays or scuba dive in the underwater caves of Blue Vole. Above ground, try the meat pies and rum cake baked daily at Reina's, or whole grilled lobster and jerk chicken at D&D's, a Caribbean barbecue spot right on the water. On the eastern side of the Caye, the beachfront Kalinda Cabanas has 14 brightly painted suites and cabanas, all with kitchens and outdoor space, tucked amid the palms and almond trees. 8. Iceland, Flatey. Don't expect to see much night sky here. In summer, daylight shines for up to 21 hours on this 1-mile, car-free hideaway in bright Afturder Bay. Lush meadows, multicolored timber houses, and incredible birdlife dot the scenery, and the mainland Snaefellsdal volcano is always within eyeshot. In town, Votel Flatey stays true to simple Scandinavian design, blond wood furniture, whitewashed walls, and the downstairs restaurant is a superb spot for local, fresh, seafood-centric fare. Swing by Iceland's oldest and smallest library, built in 1864. 9. Malta, Gozo. This tiny Mediterranean island is where Odysseus was held captive by Calypso after the Trojan War. Take one look at the landscape, and it's no wonder he stayed 7 years. Rolling hills, crumbling castle walls, and a Bronze Age fortress are some of the most endearing features. Check into the upscale Hotel Ta Senken Spa, overlooking the sea from the island's highest point. From there, it's a short drive to rugged Dwedra Bay, where you can take a dip and gaze upon the famous limestone arch. Head to the ancient village of Sangra for a hearty meal of fish soup, pasta with rabbit sauce, and fig ice cream at Oleander Restaurant. Bring home hand-blown objects, dark from Gozo Glass. 10 India, HaveLock Island. Bone-white beaches and crystalline water make HaveLock Island perhaps the most appealing of the 500-odd islands and atolls in India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Make a cottage at the much-loved Seashell HaveLock your island crash pad for days of snorkeling, diving, glass-bottom boating, and jungle trekking. Ocean breezes and down-home cooking take center stage at Anju Coco, a roadside seafood shack and breakfast spot. The mellow atmosphere and 28-page menu require at least one return visit. 11. Mauritius, Rodrigues. With 3,300 miles of Indian Ocean between it and Perth, the nearest civilization to the east, this fish,